Or you can even sit on that one. Is that comfy? That's a little more comfortable.
Okay, well, welcome to the Addison Township Board meeting tonight. Today is November 20th at 6 o'clock, and we're located at the Addison Township offices, 1440 Rochester Road. If we could all stand for the pledge, please. Joel, if you could start, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will you stay standing, please?
Thank you, God, for this great day, and for this meeting we're having here, and for this week of Thanksgiving. Help us to realize what we're truly thankful for. In Jesus' name, amen.
Okay, could we have roll call, please?
Yes, Eric Sant.
Here.
Linda Garrick, excused. Joe King.
Here.
Jacob Newby.
Here.
Lori Fisher. Here. Bennett present. Supervisor Pearson.
Here. Okay, we'll start with any announcements.
No.
Any petitions?
No.
Department reports, as usual, are available in my office. Contact myself or my deputy, and we'll make those available. Approval of the agenda.
Yes, could the board please consider to remove agenda item number 2 from this month's agenda, and it will be put on in December, and then to add as number 10 due to the time frame, fire department, fire engine specs modified and additional expenditure.
Okay, is there any discussion on that? No discussion. Can we have roll call on that, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll support.
And roll call.
Yes. Eric Sant.
Yes.
Joe King.
Aye.
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. So moved. Consent agenda.
Very short this month in the consent agenda. You have the September 16th minutes and the bills is paid for September and October.
Any questions? Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
If there's no further discussion, could we have roll call on that, please?
Yes. Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Eric Sant.
Yes.
Joe King.
Aye.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. Okay, then we'll skip 2, go on to 3. The resolution in opposition to landfire 1-12 permit MI 125 2R003 Class 2 injection well permit. As you know, our legal counsel went to the public hearing concerning the latest request from Energex. Previously, the clerk and I and a few of the citizens, the Shoners, and I think it was Bill went with us up to Lansing. We've been opposing this for several years. Back in 2013, we went up to the DEQ and testified against this operation off of Leonard Road. State and federal government eliminated the township's approval in these matters. The township has no say in the application approval process anymore. All we can do is voice our opinions, and hopefully the residents will also voice their concerns. I trust that our voices are heard, and hopefully will make a favorable reaction to the EPA. And like I said, I would like to thank all of the residents who are supporting us in trying to keep this oil well whole system off of Leonard Road out of operation. Like I said, we've been fighting it since 2013 up in Lansing. and it was a great showing at the Oxford High School against the lamb fire operation. So for that, I'd like to thank everybody. Before I ask the board for a motion, I'd understand there are a few representatives from the community who would like to speak maybe. We'd like to hear what you have to say. I'd just give you a couple minutes for each person if you have somebody that's a spokesperson or anything that would like to address the board in our endeavor. Go right ahead right now.
Hello, I'm Marty Frisbee, and a couple of months ago, I think my wife found on the Addison Township website information about this public hearing. So I tried to get the information out to many of the residents along with Bill Carroll. And attending the public hearing, we were a bit dismayed with some of the things that we had discovered about the Energex company. That's the thing I think that's most troublesome about this whole process. They weren't there to assure us that the community was safe. They were absent from the meeting. Bill Carroll at one point had smelled sour gas, and so he had called the Energex company to let them know that he had smelled that on his property, which is, by the way, lethal. And he was greeted with a disconnected number. So that was, I think, their hotline number if there's an issue or problem. Anna Miller, the geologist for the EPA, had this very reassuring presentation for us that did not have any risks associated with this procedure, which I thought was somewhat strange and seemed a bit shifty. The EPA, basically all of the figures that they received for this presentation were essentially given to them by Energex. So Energex did all their self-reporting. If there's an issue with this injection well, Energex would be responsible for letting the community know and letting people know about the actual problem, so they would be in charge of implementing corrective measures, which, based on their history, I'm not so reassured about that. Now, you started off the meeting by saying that the Addison Township doesn't really have any power whatsoever for decision making, and that was one of the things I was going to ask you about, as I have been selected by many of these residents here to be a spokesperson. So I was going to ask you what we can do, what the residents of the community can do, but I can tell you one thing that we've done already. One thing that we've done is we've gotten the Representative John Riley attended Bill and Katie Carroll's house. He was there in attendance to hear some of the people's concerns. We've also created a Facebook page so the residents can share information and share what's going on with this issue. And we have designated one day each month to meet so we can keep each other informed as to what's going on. So I would imagine just about everybody that's in attendance here is here for this purpose, because we're pretty upset by it, and we just don't feel like, from what we've heard from the EPA or from what we've heard from or the past history of Energex, we just don't feel that our air and water is going to be safe in the near future if we're relying on these people to make these type of decisions. So that's basically what I had to say, and I'm kind of wondering if there's any way that Addison Township can get involved in this process at all, realizing that it's so important to many of us.
Well,
Were you aware of the resolution and who we're going to forward this to?
Not particularly.
Normally, I'm going to see if Bruce will read this. A lot of times, we don't read these, but I think it would be good if you actually read the resolution. And then at the bottom, there's a whole list of people that we're going to forward this to, state reps, federal reps, also some of your reps, and if I can have your email address, I'll send this to you too. If the board passes this, it'll be signed, and then you can have this resolution and send it off to as many people that you can send it off to as well. Go ahead and...
Yeah, I had asked, I don't know if John Riley, our representative, is here, I'd asked him to come. Maybe he'll be a little bit late. Our attorneys, and we have spoken with our attorney, like I said, we've been up in Lansing fighting this operation since 2013, and now the EPA gets involved because this is, once again, it's the injection now that the EPA gets involved in, but we've been fighting the DEQ on all these lateral lines and this well drilling operation, like I said, since 2013. But we did prepare a resolution, and it's opposing landfire. It says, at a regular scheduled meeting of the Addison Township Board held on November 20th, 2017 at the Township offices, and it's present the trustees. The following resolution was offered with support offered by, whereas Energex Petroleum Incorporated has applied to the United States Environmental Protection Agency for a certain well permit to allow gas injection at an existing well located in Addison Township. And whereas Energex has applied for a permit from the Department of Environmental Quality, DEQ, and whereas the Safe Drinking Water Act, a federal law, regulates the underground injections of fluids through wells to protect local drinking water, and whereas the EPA is the federal agency charged with the duty to receive and evaluate these types of permits requests, and whereas the EPA scheduled and conducted a public hearing on this permit process, which was conducted on October 12, 2017, and whereas Addison Township, by its legal counsel and township supervisor, submitted written and oral comments to the EPA consistent with the hearing process rules and procedures, and whereas Addison Township, by way of its legal counsel, did present the EPA with written comments dated October 12, 2017, as attached hereto, and whereas the Addison Township hereby opposes the issuance of the proposed permit being draft permit MI 125-2R0003 for the following reasons. Number one, Addison Township opposes the public hearing because the draft permit addresses the injection of gas and the public hearing process, including discussions by the EPA of the injection of fluids. Number two, Addison Township objects to any permit that allows for the injection process to include water, alternating gas injection, polymer flooding, flow diversion using polymer gels, or the introduction of any surfactants. Number three, Addison Township objects to all forms of thermal recovery and foam sweeping. Number four, Addison Township objects to the EPA area of review being limited to 1/4 mile and seeks an expanded area of review as allowed under 40 CRF 14606. Number five, Addison Township opposes any permit that is not bonded by at least $5 million. Number six, Addison Township opposes any operations under any permit that does not name Addison Township as an addition insured on a viable and maintained comprehensive general liability and policy. Number seven, Addison Township objects to the permit because the process does not ensure the protection of drinking water now and into the future. Addison Township is not on city water and relies on private wells. Number eight, Addison Township objects to any permit process whereas the owner-operator is solely responsible for reporting and monitoring with no independent analysis by the EPA and the DEQ. Number nine, Addison Township objects to the proposed bond of $250,801.22 for future plugging and abandonment, as well as being wholly inadequate. Number 10, Addison Township objects to any permit that does not have a brine water disposal process in place. And number 11, Addison Township objects to any permit that does not have a transportation plan in place. Now, therefore, for the reasons set forth here in the Township of Addison does hereby object to the issuance of permit MI 125-2R003 relating to landfire 1-12 and requests the Township Clerk to communicate these resolutions to Anna Miller, the representative of the EPA, elected honorable U.S. Senators Debbie Stabenow and Gary Peters. Elected for Congress, Honorable Mike Bishop. Elected Honorable Governor Snyder. Addison Township, Honorable State Senator Marlowe and State Representative Riley. The DEQ Director and Supervisor of Wells, H. Grether. The DEQ Board, the Director of Environmental Quality Drinking Water and Municipal Assistance Division, E. Oswald. The Director of Quality Oil, Gas, and Mineral Division and Assistant Supervisor Wells, H. Fitch, and Addison Township, the designated DEQ representative. The State Water Resources Division, T. Sedal. The Honorable County Executive, L. Brooks Patterson, and Honorable County Commissioner Chair Mike Gingell, and the Township elected and Honorable Vice Chair Spiz. Addison Township residents for Clean Air and Water Representative Rebecca Mannery and Bill Carroll, and any other persons or entities the Addison Township Board designates to receive a copy. That's our resolution. Does that cover it? Yes.
Roseanne Johnson, Addison Township representative. I want to know if this is how you actually feel. Why hasn't the word gotten out to the community? Why isn't there a big bulletin board out here? Why hasn't there been flyers into the tax bills? Why haven't you done something to let people know? We're all on wells.
We requested the hearing, and it was put out in public notice for the hearing at the...
I mean, you know, so people actually know.
Well, I hope that everybody knows.
Nobody knows. I went around my area with flyers, and everyone said to me, I didn't know this was going on. I didn't know this was going on. What can you do as a supervisor to get the word out, to stop this?
We are doing everything we possibly can. As you know, the powers have been taken away from all local government.
You have a billboard out there.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
How long and when was this taken in effect, that we lost the ability to govern our own territory, our own area? When did this, I'm just curious, because I didn't know that was even something was possible, that the local area would not have the right to say we don't want that. Is that something that happened?
I only have one copy,
I'm
which
just
you can
ignorant, I
have.
had no idea.
Yeah, we have one copy. This was Act 110 of 2006, okay?
It was amended, though, in 2013, I believe.
213. This,
have that.
as you know, if you want, you can read this. We're not very happy about this, okay?
Just to know how we lost
Yeah, well, the state did that, okay?
without anybody knowing, or
Well-
we just,
I think our representatives and our senators all knew about it. We are in objection of this whole thing. We want to be able to control Addison Township. We don't have this. I don't know where everybody, I mean, I know Bill Carroll was up there with us, and I know the Shaners were up there with us, but we took a hold of this way back in 2013, and I drove all the way up with the clerk to testify at the DEQ hearings. This is nothing new with Energex. We've been fighting this for a long, long time.
It's not new with you, but it's new in the community. People do not
Well,
know.
it's been in the newspaper, we know that,
Well,
and it's
read
on
the newspaper.
Facebook, we know that, and it's on our board agenda, I know that, and we requested the hearing at the high school. I know that, and I also spoke at the hearing, our displeasure with the township. I mean, I don't know what else.
What can you do better? To
Well-
get the word out, because if you don't have citizens behind you, you're,
Well, I'm very grateful that everybody is here. You know, we thought we were taking this battle on by ourselves in 2013 with a few residents who lived around there. Now, all of a sudden, there's an awful lot of people who want to be involved, and we're very grateful to that, because we've been fighting this battle.
the word hasn't gotten out. How can you get the word out to the
Well,
citizens?
I think this is a good way right here.
All right, 13 times 10?
Well, I think that everybody probably has 10 more friends that they talk to also. I mean, if you want to put up billboards or whatever, go right ahead, but we're fighting
The
it.
library can and sent out a newsletter, why can't you put something in that?
We are,
Almost free.
we are going through our township attorney to fight the legal battle here. We're trying to fight a legal battle, okay? Is there anybody else?
Yeah, I'm Richard Coy, the Bruce Township Supervisor, just to your east here. I think that resolution sounds great. It's pretty gutsy what you're doing. Good luck with that. I think what I wanted to say was Enbridge just went through our township, the whole township, went right across 36 Mile Road. And we didn't have any say-so. And that's what makes it tough, because you just don't have a say-so. You know, all you can do, you can stand up like, you know, like you're standing up, you know, you're kind of upset, but it's done in Lansing, and we haven't had a say. Now, it might be different here. I hope it is different here, because, you know, I'm here representing some residents that are out on Pearl Drive and out on DeQuinder that's touch up to you guys. So, I mean, your enthusiasm, I think if you put it in the right place and get the word out, that would really help. So let's try to be positive and stand behind it. That's a great resolution, really. Thank you.
With that, I'd like,
Brainstorm on
Yes,
really
yes,
get
sir.
the word out to people. Everybody is on the
Yes, sir.
well.
Go right ahead, sir.
I had read somewhere that West Bloomfield was able to do something, and even the city of Auburn Hills were able to put some resolutions together to make it a little more difficult, or have a little more say-so, at least with spacing and different requirements.
I know Michelle at West Bloomfield, who is a township supervisor. They're very frustrated about this. Maybe, do you have some information on it, Pauline, or not?
Michelle tried to fight this as well. Michigan Township Association tried to fight this as well. So to fight the state is a different avenue that we're looking into to come forward at another meeting. But right now, this resolution is going to, it will go to the state, but it's right now, it's the EPA hearing, so that's where we're going. The law that I just passed to Bruce, and you can have a copy of this, the law that they changed actually is for townships and counties. Cities and villages can still zone for it. The only ones that cannot zone for it by state law is the townships and the counties. So that's the difference of what you're referring to in Auburn Hills, because they did make ordinances to put it in probably their areas for, I can't even think the name, industry.
Let me just read you what it says right here in the law. It says, zoning ordinance subject to certain acts, regulations, or control of oil or gas wells, prohibition, extradition of valuable natural resource, challenge to zoning decisions, serious consequence resulting from extraction, factors, regulations not limited. It says here, a county or township shall not regulate or control the drilling, completion, or operation of oil or gas wells or other wells drilled for oil or gas exploration purpose, and shall not have jurisdiction with reference to the issuance permits for the location, drilling, completion, operation, or abandonment of such wells. An ordinance shall not prevent the extraction of gas oil from a township.
So we're trying to do this.
We're doing,
that you're doing.
believe me, our hands, we're not happy about this.
I was under the impression though that was Bloomfield Township that changed their ordinance.
It was Bloomfield, West
West
Bloomfield,
Bloomfield.
West Bloomfield Township?
yes.
She tried. I don't know if she was successful. I lost contact with that. I know that she was working with her state rep. She was working with MTA. They wanted it changed. I don't know what that outcome was, but the state law is still in effect.
So, our best avenue right now is through our state rep and our state senator, and by putting this resolution forward, we're hoping that with the amount of people that were at the hearing in Oxford, that I think the EPA and the DEQ, there was a DEQ person in the audience. And the EPA, I think we got their attention. So, and now with the resolution, and we'll go through our reps, we're trying. And with our lawyer, we're spending money on this.
Supervisor, may I move the resolution opposing Landfire 1 through 12 EPA permit number MI 125-2R003 Class 2 injection well?
And I'd like to support.
So we have a motion and support for the resolution. Does anybody on the board have anything they'd like to add? Not hearing any, could we have a roll call on that, please?
Yes, Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Eric Sant.
Yes.
Bill King.
Aye.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, resolution is so moved. We will send that forward. And I thank you. And like I said, we're putting a lot of money with our attorney into this. We're fighting it the best we can. But as you say, it's an uphill battle.
Can you
And
add about the complaints he's reviewing? That he's
Oh.
reviewing them?
pardon?
That he's reviewing the complaints that they turned in?
Our attorney is, yeah. Our attorney is, we're forwarding everything on to the attorney. Our attorney is a very good environmental attorney, Mr. Robert Davis, and he's been very effective in these kind of lawsuits.
I think we received 3 complaints, and those have been forwarded. He's reviewing those, so if there's other complaints that we're not aware of, please let us know so that he can review to see if there is something that the township can do.
I'll take a couple more questions, yes.
I just wondered how you arrived at the $5 million amount. Pressing a couple of keys on the computer, I found no less than 65 contamination sites in Michigan that have been ongoing for as long as 40 years, not all related to injection wells, but nevertheless hazards to our freshwater system, which is unique in the continental United States. It seems that we could expand this. Almost every cleanup goes in the tens of millions of dollars. I just wondered if there was a cap on what you could ask for, or bonds historically are very low.
Right, they had-
Companies that can't afford the big bonds.
Yeah, they had requested, they were going to pay us $250,000. I said, I can't even get the drawings for a community well and get the pipes to people. So the $5 million, and then the state is going to have to step in for the water, just like in Flint. But I need at least that much to draw up plans to make sure I can get a system in operation to get water to everybody. That's why we asked for
I'm
that.
just suggesting that as long as you're paying an attorney, that in these cases, you're really trying to delay the forward movement of anything by a company. Energex is also partnered with Petro Olympic, I don't know if you know that will receive 50% of the profit of anything that Energex gets out of the ground. That means they're diversifying, and so somebody says it's not my problem anymore. But if you, with the Shanty Creek plume going on, the $50 million that it's going to cost that very wealthy community, should be a signal to those of us who are saying, go for the top of the line, unless it's got a cap.
We already had a pond bloom. Everything died in our pond about 3-4 years ago. And you can follow right from this injection well, the little creek that flows, goes to Ewell, it turns, goes down Brewer, you keep following it, goes all the way right down into Stony Creek. And everything, whatever killed everything in our pond, made its way there, and it's an artesian well. And it just flows constantly. We have 2 6-inch tubes that constantly dump that water right into Stony Creek. So whatever happened up here 3-4 years ago now, got into that pond, killed everything, flowed right out into the creek and went right into Rochester, Shelby Township.
First time in 35 years.
Okay. Sir, go right ahead there.
Steve Meintran, also an Addison Township resident. I heard you come up with one idea, which was to put the news out of these meetings and hearings in the local library. I'm wondering if you'll maybe consider doing that and acknowledge doing that, if possible. As well as you were saying that you're going to try to get your state representatives. Can we make a formal request to have them?
I did request, and I did speak with them, and I don't know.
Because I think really what we need is, you're saying, hey, you're fighting really hard, but you're not using a resource here, right? And if we all organize, which I know lots of people are organized.
We do have a newspaper reporter right here, and I suspect that there's going to be something in the nafter, which...
Don't read the newspapers, that's the
How
problem.
about a
Meeting billboard right out by the fire department.
That's also online.
maybe an email list? I know we have one for associated with the face.
It can make sense.
One meeting, please.
Okay,
Just real quickly. I just wonder, you know, I know that we have a Facebook page and a bunch of email lists that we're trying to keep up. Maybe we can combine them with one and have Township be the focal point, or are we better being the focal point ourselves? Just maybe a question for...
Okay, we'll take one more.
I think when you say we can't fight the state, the only way we can fight the state is by voting. And we need to know which representatives and which senators voted for this resolution.
That's when you want to jump up and down on her desk.
She voted yes for this?
Yes.
Well, and we as a group need to organize and write letters and make phone calls to all these representatives and senators who have voted to take away our power.
And if they won't come to us, we should take that.
We can go to Lansing.
Okay, Katie, you have something?
First, a quick comment on the $250,000. That $250,000 bond is supposed to cover all of the wells that Township owns, so that's not just the ones in Addison Township. That covers all of them.
That's for the closing, right, correct.
Just FYI, that $250,000 isn't dedicated toward these wells here. And then my question is, in the resolution, I think you read that there has been a DEQ permit pulled. Is that accurate, or did I miss that? And it's just because I'm asking, I wasn't aware that they had a pulled permit.
I don't think I read that, and,
You did read it at the beginning, in the whereas section, you said that they pulled or at least requested a permit.
oh, Energix has applied for a permit from the department, from the DEQ. They have applied for one, and that's for the laterals, I believe, to put the gas into the well. The DEQ controls the laterals, as we all know now, and the EPA controls the actual well and the injection process.
I don't think, I'm not speaking for myself, I wasn't aware that they actually did.
I asked Jack Lanigan when I talked to him a month ago, and he said they had not yet, at least at that time.
We haven't been notified of that either, but I think that they're going to end up having to go there, so I think we're trying to address the future as well.
Okay, well, we did move the resolution. We will send these on, and we thank you very much. Believe me, I live right here too. We all live right here. This is a fight that we, like I said, been fighting well before this last meeting here. And what I'm really, really worried about is the next step. And the next step is, when they have an empty cavern there, what are they going to try to put something into the cavern? And we want to stop this dead in its tracks. And we'll keep moving with our attorney. That's, the legal part of it is what we're paying for, and we want to get them legally to stop this, okay?
Can I just ask a quick question? Is it against the law for us to put signs and we have access to a sign company that will print for nothing? And just to make people aware of this area, what's happening, because it's a small group, but there are a lot of people that really unaware of that. And I just want to know if we put signs on street corners and things like that to say this is what's happening in this area, is there any kind of restriction or law saying we can't do that, or is there a problem with that with the township? I just want to know what your feeling.
We do have a sign ordinance, okay, but all I can tell you is it would be nice if people read some signs. But we do have a sign ordinance, and our sign ordinance, we don't work on the weekends, so. And the holiday is upon us, so.
Merry Christmas on it.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to be on vacation for a while, so hopefully that's helpful. Okay.
Just a quick question. I'm Stacy Peak. I live in Bruce Township, so I'm your neighbor. And those of us in Bruce Township that are your neighbors are here to support you too.
Thank you very much.
Will you be at the EPA hearing?
Yes, I go to all of them.
We probably would like to go too. When is it?
They already had it.
We had the hearing, but they have not made a decision yet.
Okay.
we're still,
So I want to get this out to them. Although the public hearing portion's been closed, I'm hoping that this resolution, I'm going to send it to them anyways, but then I will send to our federal reps and also the state reps.
Well, this affects Bruce Township too. I'm just on the other side of DeQuinder, on
You
the
guys
east
can pass a
side.
resolution too. That would be awesome.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we've been down this road, I think, several times. I remember in '85
everything
when they were
helps.
coming down 36 Mile, and we were out there and almost got arrested trying to stop those guys, but it's alarming, it really is. But just so you know, Bruce Township is here to support you guys and whatever we can do.
thank you very much.
There will be an appeal process
Well,
at some point.
we'll probably sue them right after they make their decision, if it isn't to our liking.
And word will get out.
And we'll take it as far as we can take it. We've taken things right to the Supreme Court in Addison Township. Matter of fact, if you know the gas plant up farther, we have won cases in Addison Township that are in the law books now. So Addison Township's been very proactive, and is that the case on the gas plant, right? And, yep. The Lakeville gas plant, we won a historic landmark case against them. And now that plant is shut down, except for just the storage buildings. But there's no more scrubber there, there's no more, if you remember in the old days, I was a deputy sheriff out here for 30-some years, used to be the big flame burning and everything. They fought us and fought us. We won that, okay? But it took a long time. So maybe they'll remember us if we go up to the Supreme Court again, so.
Very quickly, for the record, and for our friends in Bruce Township, many of us are part of the Addison Township Residents for Clean Air and Water. We have a Facebook page, and we welcome you to join that. And so we try and keep one another informed, and we would love to stay in touch with you and other townships fighting the same thing. And I also want to thank the board for your efforts and the resolution on behalf of this.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on. Yes?
One is the communication in the township. I think that the newsletter in the library is going to be great. We have here already our neighbors from home to support us. The communication should be with the other townships. Maybe you can reverse the law in Lansing, what they decide. If you bring all the other townships together, you say, hey, it's impacting all these townships. And maybe any meeting you have, and we need a representation, we can have the township representatives there, can have us there. Okay, anytime.
Thank you. We'll get with our state rep again. Like I said, I had a long conversation with him about this, and we will try again, okay? Thank you. Okay, we'll move on.
Can we ask the township to follow up with the other township, was it Bloomfield, West Bloomfield Township? Please have somebody follow up and make sure we know the outcome of their efforts, because maybe we can learn something from that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on. Let me see, to item number 4, is it? Thank you very much.
Give me a chance.
Fine. Number 4 here, I'm looking at, that's the CDBG now. Okay, I'd like to move on to item number 4, which is the public hearing resolution for the CDBG 2018 program year. The Township of Addison has duly advertised in the official paper on November 15th, 2017 for a public hearing on November 20th, 2017 for the purpose of receiving public comments regarding proposed use of program year of 2018 community block grant money funds in the approximate amount of $8,075. The federal funds are limited to use usually for low income or handicapped and seniors. This is where we listen, and I'd like to open up the hearing. We'll say it is 6:37. If anybody has any comments on the 2018 CDBG, which is the community block grant money, please come forward and speak. I'll ask one more time, if anybody would like to speak on the 2018 CDBG funds for $8,075. Okay, at this time, I'd like to close the hearing at 6:37. Now for second part B, the reprogramming for the CDBG program year 2016 from 731,227 minor home repair to 731,244 to mobile home minor repair for $5,075. This is the second part of the resolution to reprogram the 2016 funds. This will be the second public hearing, and I'd like to open that at 6:39 for the amount of $5,075, and this is where we listen. If anybody would like to come forward on at the public hearing? If anybody would like to come forward at the public hearing? Okay, I'd like to close the hearing. We'll call it 6:40. And moving forward, the board has a resolution that allocates the program for 2018 and reprograms the 2016 to minor home repair. If someone would like to move the resolution, then
I'll move that resolution.
I'll support.
okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other further comments? Not hearing any. Could we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Eric Sett.
Yes.
Joe King.
Aye.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, resolution is so moved. Let me see, oh, here we go. This is item number 5 is the resolution 2018 through 2022 Community Park Recreation Open Space and Greenway Master Plan. This resolution adopts a 5-year plan. Is Charlie here? Oh, hi, Charlie. Yeah. Would you like to give us just a couple sentences on how we proceeded on this?
Well, we appreciate that the Township Board's going to vote on it tonight. And the Park and Recreation Master Plan is very important. It's important to stay current with the state of Michigan, the Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund, in case there's something that we want to get a grant for our parks or something that we want, we can apply to get those funds. And so it's important that we keep up to date with this plan. It also is a good guide for us. It keeps us moving forward. When we reviewed back at the last 5 years, we saw things that we were going to do, and we actually did most of them. And now we have a plan for the next 5 years. It helps us stay on our toes as well. And we'd also, I think it's very important to thank our clerk Bennett and assistant Lisa, and former assistant that retired, Nancy Martin. All 3 of them worked very hard on helping us and rewriting this document 3 or 4 times. So thank you very much, and we'll keep our parks moving forward.
Thank you very much, Charlie.
One of the best things I like, Charlie, is to watch his list change. And you can see them all going off the list. So I would be thrilled to move the 218-222 Community Park Recreation Open Space and Greenway Master Plan.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further comments? Well, can we have roll call on that too, please?
Joe King.
Aye.
Eric Sett.
Yes.
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, the resolution is so moved. We'll move on to item number 6, resolution for proposed text amendments to the code, Appendix A, Addison Township zoning ordinance, Article 13, Lake Lot District Overlay, Section 13033. A resolution with the ordinances before you. This has been around for a while and discussed many times. The Lakeville Board gave its recommendation to go forward with the language to summarize in layman's terms, septic systems in the Lake Lot overlay that are approved by the Oakland County Health Department are currently required between 50 and 100 feet from the lake will not require a variance from the ZBA. Anything less than 50 feet from the lake will require a variance. Is there any discussion on this?
Only that I got no feedback from the Indian Lake Board, forwarded to them.
Okay.
Thank you for doing that, but they haven't come forward to the ZBA that often for this, so it probably wasn't as relevant. Thank you.
And we got feedback from Lakeville, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I read that.
They said to move through the resolution.
Right.
Anybody have any discussion on the resolution? I want to make
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. No further discussion? Can we have roll call on that too, please?
Yes, Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Joe King.
Aye.
Eric Sant.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, resolution so moved. Item number 7, Fire Department, the Conica agreement renewal. The fire chief met with the current company, Conica, offered an updated equipment at a lower fee for usage that should save them money. And the chief would like to continue with this firm as the agreement states. First of all, we'll have to waive the purchasing ordinance, has no benefit, seek bids. But does anybody on the board have a question on this?
I move to waive the purchasing ordinance as there's no benefit to seek the bids as the renewal rate is going to be lower.
Support.
Okay. Well, then I think we'll have roll call on that first, then, if there's no further discussion.
Just a note that the per copy prices are reversed on the cover letter. But they are correct on the purchase agreement.
Okay. Okay. So, no further discussion on it? We have a motion and a second. Roll call on that, please.
Eric Sant.
Yes.
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Joe King.
Aye.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. And now we're on to the approval of the actual agreement and the fees.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
Second.
And we have a second. Any further discussion? Not hearing any, could we have roll call on that, please?
Joe King.
Aye.
Eric Sant.
Yes.
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. And that passes. We'll move on to item number 8. This is appointments to NODA, Eric Sant, and to the appointment to OCTV, Jacob Newby, and 3-year term commencing on December 1st, 2007 for Planning Commission, Carol Benz, and the ZBA alternate, Gino Maleo. Does anybody have any comments on that? I think one motion would suffice on all of those.
I'll make that motion to appoint Eric Sant to NODA, Jacob Newby to OCTV, Carol Benz to the Planning Commission, and Gino Malaya to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
I'll support.
Okay, we have no further comment. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? And that passes. Move on to item number 9 is paper recycle bin at the Township Hall, reimbursement designated for the park fund. Took a while before we got the recycling at the township here, and I see the library also has it, which is great. And it was brought to my attention that we do have a lot of paper from the township, so it's good that we will be able to at least put that to good use. And what we're asking is that the board take the money and put it towards the park, whatever we do make. I don't think it's going to be a whole lot, but I think it would. The recycling money should go to the parks. Anybody have any discussions?
No, I move that all funds received from the recycle bin go with.
Anybody have any discussion on that? Not hearing anything, roll call on that too, please.
Yes. Eric Sant.
Yes.
Joe King.
Aye.
Jacob Newby. Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, and that passes. Now, you said you snuck one in on me. Well, let's bring the chief up here. This is the letter that the chief wrote. It says, I'd like to ask the township board to add this item to the agenda. The because it is time sensitive. The new fire engine was ordered on April 2017 from the Pierce Manufacturing and was paid for in full at the approved amount of $453,478. The engineering phase was recently completed, and after review, there have been a couple of additions and deletions to this engine. These changes are for the betterment of the department usage. I'd like to remind the township that I originally budgeted $490,000 in the capital budget for the purchase of this engine. I'd like to request the approval of an additional $13,191. Is that for tires or no? Okay,
After going through engineering and the things that we wanted, there was a couple issues that we had to resolve, and of course, money is that catalyst. So unfortunately, it's $13,191 that we need to move forward. The engine is held up right now, it's production, and that's why I passed the fire board. I did get the chairman's approval to move forward. He understood, so that's why I'm here before the board asking for that additional funds out of the capital account. Realizing that we do have enough money in there, we were able to save a lot of money by paying the engine off up front. We were able to save $26,000 at that time. So I would like to ask the board to approve that $13,000 and move forward with the same production date as planned to be.
And you're still way underneath the budget that you allocated anyhow.
Yes.
So these additions and deletions, they came along as they were building the truck?
No, they're not building it now. That actually came out of engineering. Once they spent so many months, once we approved the engine back last April, it went all this time through engineering. And then once it went through there was questions, they came back with us. And then there was some moving of different cabinets and things like that around. And that's where, unfortunately, the additional price comes.
Okay, that explains it.
Any discussion?
I thought that the package you forwarded was pretty extensive, explained everything.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to make a motion.
To approve $13,191 to come out of capital account 304-974-000.
Jerry, would you actually like that bumped up in case something else comes up? Or are you...
I'm pretty set where we're at right now. Yeah, I'm pretty good with where we're at right now. We signed documents and everything now tomorrow as soon as you approve this.
Okay.
And that anything else has to come out of that, there shouldn't be any changes out of there. Usually, let's put it this way, hopefully not. I'm 99% sure we should be good with that amount.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll second if there wasn't a second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Not hearing it, do we have a roll call on that, please?
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Erickson.
Yes.
Joe King.
Aye.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you. See you in April.
Okay. Now we'll move on to public forum. Does anybody in the public have anything they'd like to say? Please just come up to the podium and speak.
Stood there like all those other folks. I'm Ann Susanus from Dryden Township, and I really appreciate that you had allowed residents to speak before you dealt with your resolution. You mentioned something about cleaning up. I'm referring to the injection well. You mentioned something about concern about the cleanup after the recovery, and I'm wondering if you have a concern about the possibility of, once that well is no longer being a profitable oil well, if you have a concern about it becoming a disposal well for injection for fracking fluids.
Well, that's what I'm worried about, okay? I'm afraid that, from what I'm reading, there's an awful lot of money to dump stuff down empty wells, and that's what we'd like to prevent, and we'd like these to be capped. As you know, they cap them with cement, and we'd like these to be capped. And that's part of our issue here, because I know what they're doing right now. I'm just afraid what they're going to do in the future. And
There's a concern that injection fluid could come from other states.
I agree.
Hardly any inject disposal wells.
And we're thinking outside the box, way ahead of them. And I think that, because see, this started a long time ago, you know, we've had issues with these wells since, you know, the 70s, okay? And then the gas plant, and then the sour gas, and I mean, I can tell you, I have a whole education on this stuff because it used to stink so bad around here. And I used to be the deputy here that would have to call out all the engineers, and there were so many other people involved here. You know, there's consumers, and then there's CMS, which is the actual company that brings the gas in from Canada, Alberta. These lines come all the way. And anyways, and then you had the guy that owned the plant, Mr. Goot. And I mean, it went on, and I got quite an education finding out where the stink came from. And I had to bring out all these people. So I'm well aware. Mr. Goot was a very nice man. He educated me very well when I was on my lunch hour every day. And he was a well man. And he educated me very well. And I know exactly where they're going to make their money. And there's only 30% left of oil in here, okay? And at $50 or $55 a barrel, it's not very profitable. I'm worried about the next step, where they're going, because it is profitable to have a dump site, okay? And these people are from Canada, and they have a history of dumping stuff in Michigan, okay? So I'm not very happy about it, okay? So we're one step ahead of them, okay?
That's great. I have two more questions for you. Does this Energex have to do an environmental impact statement or study before they can do this process?
Well, when we were up in Lansing in 2013, we blasted them at the hearing, okay? Because they didn't have anything. They didn't have anything. They didn't have emergency measures. They hadn't contacted our fire department. They had no emergency measures to contact the residents in the area, because this is a poisonous gas that they're talking about. And they had none of this stuff. So we blasted them at the hearing there. And then they did have to come out with a big emergency manual. And then, as you heard in the hearing, when somebody called the emergency number, it was a busy signal. So they're not a very honorable company. I said that at the meeting. It's like I said, I think it's just a group of investors who are trying to make some money, and then they're going to be long gone, and then we'll have to live with this long after they're gone. So, yeah, our attorney is well aware of what they're doing and what they might do.
And one last question. Could I get a copy of the resolution after it's passed if I come into your office?
Either come into the office, or if you can send me an email, then I can scan it and send it to you by way of email after I sign it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else in public forum?
I don't know if I should have gotten on an agenda. My issue is totally different. It's about the Lakeville Cemetery.
Well, step up and we'd like to hear what you have to say, okay?
My mother just died last month, and we buried her in Lakeville Cemetery because she had a plot. And I live in Oakland County, but I guess I'm a non-resident here, so I'm trying to get the plot next to hers because I'm a single woman. And I was told if I come here for the board, forgiveness for me.
Well, public forum is where we listen, okay? We don't make any decisions at this time. Generally, I don't even talk back to people, because this is where we're supposed to be talked to and listen, but...
May I?
Yes,
And you're right,
Pauline.
normally we don't do that. So what you would need to do, and I don't know who directed, but anyways, you would need to put that in a form of a letter detailing why we should make that exception and what relatives are there. And then administratively, the ordinance allows the administrators to determine yes or no. So just get that letter off, and you can send that to me by email or mail it, and we'll take a look into it.
Or better yet, just buy a home in Addison Township.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on then to Addison Township Board reports. Anybody on the board have a report? Nobody? Legal reports? We don't have any. Communications? Any communications?
They were already distributed, and it was for the number 3 item.
Okay, well, then we'll go to the supervisor's report. We had a grand opening of the Arnold School a few weeks ago, which is the 1856 schoolhouse that we moved, and we had a large crowd there. It was an exciting day, and I'd like to thank the whole community for all their volunteer work and all their donations that made that happen. It's actually a beautiful school, and I shared that with Oakland County today and all the other township supervisors because I had a meeting over in Milford, and they were very impressed with how we've been able to keep our historical buildings in Addison Township. And I'd like to thank my deputy supervisor, Jamie. She put a lot of work and effort into that, and I'd like to thank her at this time. Also, Gene Lewert, one of our board members on our boards. He's recuperating, and we'd like to wish him the best. I know Mike McDonald and I sent him a card from the guys. You know, he's part of the group, but we want to wish him a speedy recovery because he's a very valuable person to our township. So, and I'd also like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and we all just kind of remember why we're so thankful for what we have in this township, and hopefully we can be very thankful if we beat Energex in court. So,
Bruce, I do have a board report. Our No-Has event, the last one was in November. It went really well. We had a lot of people from Lake Orion, but I'd like more participation from Addison as we do pay for it. It's a really good service. And in this kind of event, it's a household waste disposal, and it costs $10 for an Addison resident and a car to go through. It's a really good program, and if we could participate more, that'd be great.
okay, very good. Any other comments? None? How about a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you very much.